We're continuing Derech Hashem. We're on 121.
Every day we go down.
And it's going to be now B, because we did A, and we'll continue from where we were on. Since God desired to bestow good, lo yaspik lo biyoto metiv k'tzat tov. It wouldn't befit him to give a little good, which means a partial good would not be sufficient. The good that he bestows would have to be the ultimate good that his handiwork could accept. God alone, however, is the only true good. Like we said, he's the only Tov Ha'amiti, and therefore his beneficent desire would not be satisfied unless it could bestow that very good, namely the true perfect good that exists in his intrinsic essence. Okay, now there's a lot going on in here, so we have to explain. First of all, we're saying like this. Hashem is going to give a good, but he's going to give the best good that is possible. Now, we said last time that the best good was already, we covered from the previous paragraph, that the best good is not possible because that is to be a God ourselves, which is not a possible thing. So that's not what he's repeating here. He's saying a new point. He's saying now we already covered. Hashem is not going to make you a God. We have that already. Now he's saying he's going to make you the next best thing. However, in the next best thing, you have an A and a B. You have the best way to do it or a lower way to do it, still being a non-God meaning, you see? So that's where this category is coming into. And I'll give you a very simple example. Being a God is out. Now we're talking about being a created entity, which is not a God. So a person can be either a human or an animal. Meaning I can make you the best possible way, or I can make you still as an existing entity, but in a lowly way. You see? So like a human and an animal is like a good example. So Hashem, because he is a Tov, and he wants to do only the best that there is, he wants to give us the top quality of what is available. Okay? Not top quality, period, because that would be, again, to make him like him, but the best possible of what's available, which is really who we are. That's what our nishamot really are. We're not an animal. We're and I'll tell you what it is. What Selem Elokim really is, the image of God, is really that. We'll just give Garma credit because he did mention that the last time. And that is what makes us the closest possible of a God-like being. So that's what it means. He made us as the best we possibly could be. And that really includes, to say Tselem Elokim, doesn't just mean that we look like him. Because he doesn't look like anything, so what do we look like? That's number one. Right? But he doesn't have anything of being, so what are we reflecting? Really, what it means to reflect is the creation that he created, which is the 10 Sefirot. We're made in the image of the 10 Sefirot. And of course, Hashem is in those, like the Malbim says. While Hashem is not the Sefirot, people make that mistake. We never pray to the Sefirot themselves. Hashem is the Nishama that's in the Sefirot. Because we say that there's light in the Sefirot, and even that's not really him, but still in some aspect, Hashem's light is the neshama that's in the Sefirot. Anyway, we could touch on that. This is more Kabbalistic, as I said, when we talk about Sefirot, it becomes Kabbalistic. Now, to say you have a Tselem Elokim means we look like the 10 Sefirot, and we have something that God has, which is speech. We have speech because the animals don't. But speech really is a reflection of something else, which is, and this is the real key word, two words really. One is consciousness. We have consciousness, and so we speak because of another thing. We have self-awareness. Self-awareness is what separates the humans from the animals, really, you see? And then we'll speak because what we speak is what we're usually aware of. That's where speech will come out of. So while it's true, Tselem Elokim means like Unkelos says, Ruach Memalela, a speaking spirit, it just shows that we have consciousness and self-awareness. Okay? Okay, without getting into all that about animals and that, we could talk about that another time. They don't analyze themselves, an animal. He doesn't think, oh, what am I feeling right now? He just goes for the food because he knows he's hungry. He'll do that, but he doesn't analyze himself. How am I feeling that I need the food? Be well, everyone. You see, they don't have that, the animals. So that's a thing that's a Tselem Elokim. So by Hashem making us like that, He made us now the closest that resembles Him. So that's what it means. He wants to make us the best that we can possibly be. Of course, still being under being a God. We're still a God-like. Okay, now we have to understand something again. First of all, when we said Hashem does not make us a God, that's because His oneness does not allow. Now, if you remember, we said that God cannot commit suicide. That's really where all this is coming from, by the way. Why is that? Because imagine... he's right. He is, was, is, and will be, which is Hashem's name of being or existence. Now, when we say Hashem is everything, it means He's everything. He takes up all space. Just imagine you had a piece of paper, and He's the full paper. Okay? Let's say you want to draw on it. You can't draw on it because it would take away from His spot. You can't put someone else in His spot. He's there. You see? So it would be suicide to take a little piece of Him out so you can fit in there. But He does not commit suicide, meaning no piece of Him can go out. That's what it means. So because of that, there's a problem of creation. It cannot be done. Hashem can't just zap you over there because there's no room for you. He's not going out to let you in, you see? Not because He doesn't want to, because it is not possible, because any piece of God cannot be thrown out. So it means nobody can fit anywhere. So what's Hashem going to do now? There's no way to make a person. So what Hashem has to do is He has to work within Himself. So you take the paper, and while you can't draw on it, because you'd be adding, you can't add, you can cut out. You can cut out an elephant instead of drawing an elephant. Now the truth is, we said God doesn't cut Himself out. So the truth is, even though they'll use that word, like you see in Sefer Yetzirah, it says Hashem, many words of Hashem, it says Chakak. Chakak is to engrave. He engraved the world. Also the luchot, the tablets, were engraved because they mirror the world. So everything was done by engravement, which means He cut out, not He put on. There's no way to put on. There's no way to put it. So He can only cut out. But the truth, even cutting out is just a metaphor. He never really went away because, again, He can't commit suicide, even a piece of Him. So what He did was, He simply turned that part of Himself into us, which is still alive and kicking. It just happens to be us now. And the famous example, like we said many times, is the finger puppet. Let's say you take your hand and you take your thumb and you put 2 eyes and a nose, and now you give it consciousness and you call him Joe. So Joe is really me. I'm Joe. You see, I had to use within myself to create him. I can't just create something over here. There's no over here. I have to use within myself to make something. But yet Hashem will not go away. He simply turns that piece of Himself, whatever that means, into you. So look how He's totally us. You know, that people think they want to run away from Hashem. How are they going to run away? He's all over you. He is you, in literal terms. Now, we don't have to understand this or feel this. That's not our job. We still have to feel like we're real people and we have a real mission and we have mitzvot to do. But just to know that the oneness of God shows His absoluteness that He is really everything that is, and we are nothing, and we stand in awe of that. This can give us a great dose of Yirat Hashem, fear of God, because we realize how all-encompassing God really is.